E3 is finally on its deathbed, and it's time to move on to having just digital-only events for each company rather than trying to recreate what used to work in the past. Honestly, this all started when Sony decided to host their own showcase in place of using one of the E3 time slots that they had in the past. The only two watchable events from this year were the dual conference of Xbox and Bethesda, where they were able to smoothly weave their game announcements evenly between the two, combined but ultimately separate entities, and the Nintendo Direct and the Treehouse event that took place on the literal last day of E3 this year. Overall, E3 2021 was a complete wash, and it should not come back for 2022 and the years beyond, unless major overhauls to the conveyance of the reveals takes place. I wanted to do my usual ranking video this year for each major company, but I ultimately wanted to forego doing that this year by just talking about the very small amount of highlights that came from the overall conferences. I will also be grouping some of the announcements from the Summer Games Fest as well, the rival to E3 in some cases. So, without further ado, E3 2021. I did pluralize announcements for the Summer Games Fest, but the only major thing that I actually cared about coming from Summer Games Fest was Elden Ring. Elden Ring was the first and only announcement that the Summer Games Fest had up their sleeves this year. Understandably, this is a huge exclusive to have for an announcement of their, quote, rival of E3. The game looks like its usual Soul-style game from Software that we're very used to seeing right now. I know this game is touted to have differences from those core-style games that we've had, but it's very, very highly anticipated, so I really hope it lives up to the mountainous hype that it has right now. Going on to Ubisoft, the Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope was the only notable announcement for me. Game looks fantastic so far, and the graphical upgrades to this game look absolutely insane for a base Switch to run, so maybe that, and I quote here, the new Nintendo Switch Plus XL2 rumors from this year may actually be palpable, and Kingdom Battle did really sell well on the original Switch, so I'm really glad to see a sequel being created and slated for next year, but yeah, definitely think that game looks a little too good to be running on a normal Switch. The Guardians of the Galaxy game that was shown off looks very, very interesting, but I feel like ultimately it has the same issues that the Avengers game had as well when it first got announced. Most of the people that are watching have these preconceived notions of what the characters and the Marvel heroes should end up looking like, and not having them resemble the MCU cast in any way could bear the same issues. I understand that these characters have been shown in different ways over time in the comics and everything, but a majority of people have their first experience with these characters in the MCU, so maybe making them look like that would not be a big of an issue if they just did that. Also, the Avengers game just was not polished very well at the beginning. I know it's getting a slew of expansions later this year, but I unfortunately think it will have the same fate as that game as well. I'm hoping it doesn't, but I ultimately fear that it's going to have those issues. Moving on to the Xbox conference, because that's the only other one that mattered besides the last Nintendo one, Party Animals is a Gang Beast style human fall flat physics type beat 'em up game that I am absolutely in love with. I'm super glad that it, along with the other games at the Xbox conference I'll be talking about, are getting dropped day one on Game Pass. Super fun, super adorable game. Hopefully looking forward to this game when it comes out next year on Xbox. Starfield also is going to be space Fallout, and I'm very, very excited for this game. We didn't get a whole lot from it, but honestly, so far, game looks absolutely stunning, can't believe, and ready for it to come out next year. Battlefield 2042 also has my interest, but as an EA game, I'll be waiting to see what the game is like on release before picking it up myself. Don't pre-order an EA game. I've learned my lesson before. The Sea of Thieves are getting a Pirates of the Caribbean expansion is absolutely huge, and I may end up downloading this game again just so I can experience it again. Pirates of the Caribbean is a solid pickup for a franchise like this. I mean, it obviously works so well together and everything, and I hope it doesn't fall flat like some of the other Sea of Thieves expansions have in the past. And what you've all been waiting for, Nintendo. Nintendo, I believe, ultimately wins E3 alone this year with the announcements. They had the most major impactful announcements for me this year, and honestly, they have for the last couple of years now. They've been knocking it out of the park, absolutely mailing it in every single year. Starting off with having Kazuya and Smash from Tekken is a huge for the fighting game reps in this game. We now have major reps from almost all of the major fighter franchises besides Mortal Kombat, which actually would be insane in itself. I'm really happy for Tekken fans out here. Not a major announcement from me, but super nice to have another fighting rep in this game. The Super Monkey Ball HD collection is absolutely insane. It includes all the mini games in the previous ones, which were absolutely my favorites. This is Game of the Year 2021. Pack it up, go home. Nothing else is going to go at this year that's going to be this amazing. Mario Party Superstars came out of left field. It's honestly what I thought Mario Party 100 would have been on the 3DS, and I honestly wish it was not a standalone game though. I wish it was DLC for the original Super Mario Party since they just got online added to that as well. I feel like I would freshen the game up a whole lot, not having to add a whole new game just for this, but I'm really excited for it. Mario Party is always great. Moving on to Metroid Metroid 5. Metroid Dread is the 2D Metroid fans' dream. Finally, after 17 or 19 years, they finally have another 2D Metroid game. I'm super super happy for the fans out there of Metroid for getting this. I'm actually going to pick this up myself because I haven't played a 2D Metroid game in a very, very long time, and I hope it's definitely something that'll hold them over until Metroid Prime 4's eventual release in the year 2052. Warioware is going to be a must-have game for the Switch. I cherish each and every single one of the Warioware games in the franchise. I'm super happy that we're finally getting another. The last time we got a game like this was on the 3DS for some reason. I really didn't like that they put those 3DS games out like that. They could have been a Switch game. This one looks great. It's got co-op coming out in October or actually this is coming out in September. All the other games are coming out in October for some reason. September 10th for Warioware. Absolutely excited. Love these series of games. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Zelda 35th anniversary special. We're getting a Game & Watch. I got my Mario one up on my wall right now. Definitely going to add this one to the collection as well. The Zelda one looks really fun. Link's Awakening is one of my favorite 2D Zelda games of all time. Absolutely insane. Looking forward to that. Going to buy that on release. What you guys are actually looking for here is the fact that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a great fucking game. The trailer speaks for itself. I do doubt only that the 2022 release is going to get pushed forward a little bit with the little info that we currently have. We don't even have a title right now. I definitely think that Breath of the Wild is going to get pushed to 2023 or maybe even later if it doesn't pan out. This game's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to it. And that's going to do it for me, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to hit a like, subscribe. If you guys like it, leave a comment down below what you guys thought about the E3 this year, whether or not you think we should bring it back next year or the years to follow. And as always, guys, thank you so much for getting your daily dose of vitamin P. If you guys want more daily doses of vitamin P, please check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and take care.